Please be advised that this video is for the sole purpose of entertainment. Any views are purely my own, are subjective and may not necessarily be true. I do, however, do extensive research for all of my videos. All photos have been found on the public domain. I am using them under the fair use and fair dealing guidelines. I urge everybody to do their own research. Well, hello, it's Murky Meg here. It's Tuesday the 24th of March and I'd like to say a big thank you to all of your well wishes. Yesterday was a pretty bad day pain-wise. I suffer from chronic endometriosis, so some days, I haven't had that in a while actually, but some days it literally just floors me and I physically can't move. So I spent most of the day on the sofa feeling very, very sorry for myself, but all of your wonderful wishes and your messages of love and concern really did make it all better. So I'm back today, had a good night's sleep. Pain is manageable, it's there, but poof, we've got to move on, haven't we? So let's push ahead. I have been contacted by somebody who lives in Vancouver Island in Canada. Now, I said before that I had an inkling that they were no longer in Canada. Turns out I'm right. They are no longer staying at that $14 million mansion they have been kind of squatting in for the last 3 to 4 months. This resident has contacted me. They want to remain anonymous. All my sources are anonymous. I never reveal where I get them from, but they have basically said they have had enough of it and they are very, very pleased that they are no longer there. They have said to me that on the day that Meghan made her first appearance in London during the Commonwealth trip is that they actually saw Royal Protection officers having a meeting around the area. Now, the person figured that it's because Archie was still in Canada, but a week ago, things went eerily quiet. No more cars, no more security, all vanished from that property. So they are no longer staying at that multi-million-pound mansion. So where are they, I'd like to ask? I personally think they're probably in LA on lockdown. Safest place for them in this pandemic. I wouldn't wish anything on anybody. You know how much of a kind heart I have. The only reason why I do this channel is to try and decipher all the lies that we think have been weaved. Yet only yesterday we were inundated with PR puff piece saying how it was Harry's choice to move to Canada. What I can't get over is that when things are trying to be rammed down your throat, it's often sleight of hand. They will try and put your focus onto one thing while they do something else entirely. I believe we are having the wool pulled over our eyes in a humongous style. They are not in Canada. Now, could it be the fact that they know that Canada won't pay for their security? It's been confirmed that they will no longer pay for their half of the security. So have they gone over back to LA? But even then, who's going to pay for that? Taxpayer won't pay, I don't think. And even if we do, we have to be told about it. But will we? At the moment, the world is in crisis. And a lot of people are shouting now, give back your security money. That could go towards our struggling NHS services. It could go towards masks, ventilators. £20 million buys a lot of support. Now, I bit the bullet and I actually left a message on their Instagram account. I've never done this before. I've always kept my distance. I've looked, but I have never ever commented before on their Instagram account. But I did this time because I got so fed up with especially the Mother's Day post. So I left this message. It stayed up for 2 days. It got over 2,000 likes and nearly 300 responses. Yes, I got trolled massively, and some of it was disgusting. But this morning I wake up and poof, it's gone. My comment was at the very, very top. Now, I've said this before, how Instagram works. The most liked comment and the most responded to comment will always be underneath the original post. Mine was there for 2 days, and all of a sudden I can't see it. Now, whether or not I've been blocked, whether or not they have restricted but other people can see, I personally can't see it anywhere. So it leads me to believe that they read my message, or somebody did. But you take a look at their Instagram account, especially the last couple of days, they are inundated with negative comment after negative comment. And somebody rightfully said that so many people leaving negative comments cannot all be wrong. Now, the strange thing is that the Sugars are now saying we are paid for our negative comments. Well, I'd just like to state for the record, I have never been paid to leave a negative comment, and I never will be paid by Catherine and William, because that's what they're implying. They're implying that we, the haters or the trolls, or just frankly people that have their eyes wide open to the hypocrisy and the lies, are being paid by Kensington Palace. How ludicrous is that? Needless to say, I will not be sitting by my letterbox every single morning waiting for the cheque to drop, because it's not going to come, because none of us are under contract for Kensington Palace. I mean, this has to be the most craziest theory out there, that all of us are being paid to troll. It just flips it, because a lot of people are saying that Sussex Royal have a huge bot problem. Now, I don't know whether you know what bots are. Bots are people that are paid to bump up your profile. I have never heard of it twisted the other way around, but I can sincerely state I am not being paid by Kensington Palace. And do you know what? If any of you being paid by Kensington Palace, stick your hands up. No, didn't think so. It's just so ridiculous that these Sugars or stans or fans or whatever you want to call them, they seem to have very little IQ or understanding of how the world works. And their understanding of the succession and our monarchy is non-existent, to be perfectly clear. So the narrative that Harry was the one that made the decision to go to Canada is being quite literally rammed down our throats. And again, I don't believe a single word of it. But having said that, the 1st of April, 31st of March is rapidly approaching. And that is when they step down from being officially working royals. Now, both SmartWorks and the Mayhew Foundation have removed their Royal Highness or Her Royal Highness from their websites. They are no longer stated it's the Duchess of Sussex, but it's not Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex, which means that things are going into plan. What I'm waiting for is to see what happens to Sussex Royal Instagram. They can easily change that name in the settings, but what happens is the username has to be unique. So they can't have Sussex Royal and they can't have something that's already established. So it has to be unique. Their title can be anything they like, but their username has to be available. It's a simple switch over, so it could happen at any time. Do you think they're going to do it soon, or do you think they're going to go right down to the wire? Or do you think they're going to start a new account completely and then let their followers follow that instead? Do you think they're going to use the existing account and just change it, or start a brand new one with whatever they decide to do? One thing's for sure though, they cannot use that royal title in their name on Instagram after the 31st of March. Now, I will state one thing. It's wonderful to see Prince William, the Duke of Cambridge, who is the second in line to the throne, is now being given a role that lets him step up into a statesman role, which means that he can address the nation in this terrifying pandemic that we're going through. He is the voice of calm that we need, and I think it's a wonderful role for him. But can you imagine how the two that have exiled themselves must be feeling? This would have been the perfect opportunity for both William and Harry to stand side by side as brothers of the monarchy together and calm the public. They would have been fantastic together. That's really gone down the pan, hasn't it? Because he's left. Having said that, the worrying thing is that if both the Queen and Prince Charles are directly affected by this whole pandemic that's going on, then Harry could well be yanked back in for a role such as a Councillor of State. Now, councillors of state we normally have 5 of them in this country, and they normally step in to do duties if the monarch or Prince Charles are no longer available to operate, if they're ill or if they're self-isolating and things like that. So he could very well come out of retirement, and I don't think that's the right step, to be perfectly honest, because quite frankly, he's offended the British public. He didn't want anything to do with us. He has painted us as villains. He's painted our press as villains. He's made his feeling quite clear. Whether that's right or wrong, it's up to you to decide. What do you think would be the British people's opinion if Harry was to come back as one of these 5 councillors of state? I personally would think it wouldn't go down very well, but at the moment we are in unprecedented times. Anything is possible, and you've got to remember that the crown always wins. The crown will always survive, so they will always put themselves first. I'm going to end today's video on something that I found absolutely hilarious. We all know that Meghan Markle got an offer from Disney to do voiceovers, which was swiftly retracted. Disney no longer needs her, and it was said and quoted that she needs Disney more than Disney needs her. Well, lo and behold, it's apparently been said that the Simpsons have offered Meghan a voiceover role in one of their episodes. Oh, lordy, lordy, lord. How low can you go? Don't think anybody royal has ever been in The Simpsons. You know, celebrities have. They've gone thick and fast into The Simpsons, you know, bit parts and special guests and things like that. Brilliant. But not a royal. Meghan, that really is scraping the barrel. So I'd love to know where you think the Harkles are. If they're not in Canada, where are they? My bet is either in LA or secretly back in this country. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? They're going to be somewhere locked down. We know that because it seems like the whole of the world is locked down at the moment. But if they're not in Canada, where are they? I'd also like to know your thoughts on what you think will happen to the Sussex Royal Instagram account. Will they just change the name and keep their, 11.3 million followers, or will they start afresh on a brand new page? What do you think of Prince William stepping up to be a more prominent role within the pandemic? And what do you think of the possible re-entry of Harry as the Chancellor of State? And finally, The Simpsons. Yay or nay? As always, let me know what you think. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, and also that like button. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers for all the tips and all the emails, DMs that everybody sends to me. It really is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for watching once again.